Welcome everyone to another video in our Bryan Fundamentals series where I try to get better at Bryan day by day and bring you along for the ride. So today is my first stream back from ComboBreaker. How's it going, Mecca? And I'll start by saying my record so that we're not withholding that. I went 3-2 in pools, which is better than I've done at previous ComboBreakers, but you know, I wish I did a little bit better. And like always, we're going to look at these matches and kind of go through the things that were going through my mind and in my head at that time, as well as look for maybe anything that I didn't notice in the moment or things that I look back on and remember differently than ends up happening in the recording. And then from there, we'll hopefully be able to improve and get better at this game. How's it going, Beaters? But yeah, with that being said, let's get started. My pool was, I don't know what the pool number was, but as far as the notable players in my pool, Farzine was the killer in my pool. So I did not play against Farzine, but that was, if you know what his pool was, that's the pool that I was in. That being said, my first opponent was a Devil Gym player, and I'll preface this before we even start by saying that I was, despite everything that I tried, I was incredibly nervous for this. And I think there's a couple of factors that might have played into that. The first one was that I did not have a setup with me, and I had been in Chicago already for a week leading up to it, so I hadn't really touched Tekken for over a week when I sat down, and so I'd only gotten to essentially warm up that day of to try and like get warm. And I don't think the actual warm up or lack of mattered as much as the fact that mentally I was nervous about it. And so because of that, I think nerves did play into this game, but I still think it's important to watch what happened and still be critical about the things that we did. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start this. I'm actually going to lower this even more because there's no actual game sound on these things. But yeah, let's just get started. So looks like we're starting pretty much immediately. And I'll be pausing frequently. Oh yeah, let me point out one thing. You hear that guy that says, that's my opponent, says, that sounds super weird. The sound on this setup was completely garbled. It was super, super weird, and it was very disorienting. Veters, I think, has told me that for anyone that's in this situation, just reach over to the aux cable and twist it. And the aux cable on your headset, just twist it, and that should fix it. So I didn't know that at the time. You know, it's like a minor thing, but just, you know, something that I learned about these types of setups. But yeah, let's keep going. And it didn't happen again for the rest of the pools. It was just this one match. All right. So we start with a good old jab into down 4, and then we immediately start getting rushed down. What happens here? Let's see what happens here. They run up and start with a mid. They hit us, and then they hit us with a 4-4-2. I don't even know what I did. Maybe I sidestepped, maybe I ducked, but I didn't hold the block, right? And then we're sitting here blocking. Then I try to mash, but that's, I think, plus. But you can see I'm doing a lot of 1-2-4s, 1-2s, trying to like fight back. I think I did it again there. But you see how like I'm getting counter hit a lot because I'm trying to fight back. I'm trying to use like hatchets into frame traps and stuff. But like because it's Devil Jin is my guess, I'm scared. So I'm kind of accounting for my fear with attacks, right? The 1-1 caught my step there, which is too bad, but that's okay. And then they got us. So what do we know here? So the first thing is like we've already realized that this person is very aggressive, right? And I am mashing. That's like kind of the mentality that I want to point out here is like my opponent's very aggressive, but I'm playing very mashy as well. I'm not sitting here and blocking and saying like, really, like show me the hell sweep, show me the down back twos, you know, like just sitting there and holding the block and thinking like, what are you afraid of from Devil Jin? You are afraid of a hell sweep. He is very good with that hell sweep, but make him show it to you, right? There's a high risk there, and I'm letting him kind of run us over already with just running their game, and then maybe I'm going to guess wrong and mash wrong, and then that's going to get me. Kazak, what do I think about Bryan in Season 2? I think he's pretty good. I mean, he's He's almost too good. Like, Power Crush is insane on this character, and it feels wrong for him to have it, but he's very good in this game, in this season, for sure. This is probably the strongest he's been. Though I don't think he's the best character, but he's definitely in the top, for sure, these days. But anyway, let's keep going to round 2. Can I pause this with... Okay, yeah. And then I think we just got clipped because that wasn't a counter hit. And that'll happen. Probably try to, like, shimmy in or something. That was, I think, supposed to be a wall standing 3 is my guess, but... Or maybe a hatchet because he whiffed. And then what happened here? Let's see what happened here. So I do the back 3 on accident. Do a jab there. We do a down 4. And I do nothing. And then I got clipped. And then they go for that down 4-1, I want to say, is that move. And we try to jab, and we get high crushed. And now the hell sweep's here. But that's because they're so far ahead, they can kind of go for it, right? And then they miss the combo, so we're alive. How's it going, Haskashi? And then this is you know, me trying to get information, right? So watch what happens here. After the combo finishes, they get him on the ground, and I go dash dash forward 3, right? You see that forward 3 coming out? But they beat us with a 1-1-1-2-2, which is okay. I honestly don't mind that we went for that, but given the fact that they are so aggressive, maybe I don't know if that was the right call, but you know, I think it's okay. I think it's not a super nitpicky thing that we have to like focus in on. Oh, you're playing Yoshi this day. That's pretty cool. Yoshi's a cool character. Alright, sidestep on our jab into electric. Round start. And then another electric, this time catching us coming in. We actually got that hell sweep. I think I kind of sensed that they were feeling good about themselves, and that was when the hell sweeps came out. Still holding the block is good. It's actually not dead, kind of surprisingly. Missed our back fours, that's okay. Didn't get the side step right. Still sitting here defending. I actually really like that we were holding the block here and just kind of like letting them attack a little bit. And then we got caught with a counter hit after what exactly? So we had this into that, and then throw, and then I jabbed. They did a 2, into a down jab. Oh, down jab into that. Interesting. I feel like this is a habitual thing that I should probably learn how to do better. Down jabs, in my experience, in my understanding, are -5, I want to say, on block. Let me fact check myself on that. But I'm pretty sure we'll fact check ourselves in a second here. But like down jab should be like around -5 on block, so I should be able to safely do a forward 3 in that situation whenever I see it. So I think that's something just to like, if we put some notes on the side here, and actually let me see if I can't. My overlay doesn't have the desktop, but we'll take some notes here on the side. The main thing that I want to mention is like, yeah, probably training forward 3 after a down jab is blocked would be important. So let's put that down. Down jab after, forward 3 after down jab. Okay. And I know y'all can't see this, but that's okay. We'll show it later. So cool. And then they beat us. So at this point, Huey comes in and gives me some advice. I'm gonna skip through that for a second, and because it's basically not a whole lot of information. Oh yeah, and then we accidentally did a rematch, which is not correct, and now we're here. Let me get to here. So, A experiment. I went 3 into a combo breaker. Haskashi, I told you that I was around. I put it in the Discord. I said, I'm here. If you see me, say hi. So a lot of people came up and said hi to me, but I guess you missed me. That's okay. I'll be at another one in the future. But anyway, the main Huey gave me, a lot of advice around different aspects of like what Devil Jin does. The main advice that stuck out to me, and I'm gonna be honest and say the main advice that I remembered and chose to implement was you gotta use more down back three in the Mishima matchups. I was using down fours. You saw me using the down fours. Down fours, as you saw, risk you getting blown up by electrics. You see those electrics. Those electrics are really good at like trying to catch that down four. So down back three ends up being a very reasonable option to do because it gets under the electrics and gives you a way to still get your pokes in while being underneath the scariest move that they can represent as keep out. So that was the main advice that I heard and that I, tried to apply to these next games. Sidestep into electric. This is the second time in a row that this has happened. Now let's look at this wall situation. Wall combo. What's for breakfast? They do a mid of some kind. We're still kind of fighting back. I am using these down back threes, as you can see. More down back threes. I'm trying to see what they're doing. See, and notice what we did here. We did a single down back three. Well, I wish this went back a little bit less but at a time, but you'll see we do a single down back three. They do nothing, do another one, they're probably going to mash, right? It's kind of what I'm thinking because this player's aggressive. They're like, how dare you do it a second time while standing three? So that's actually pretty good. Still getting these throws after hatchet, which is pretty nice. And then get him with a bit. Nice stuff. There's that down two into while standing two. At least we didn't bash. But I think next time forward three. Training forward three, right? Knowing that I can do that. And this time I'm like, they're going to do it again. I just had a feeling, but back threes are here, right? And notice how like they are pressing in all of these interactions. See, right? So like, let's watch each one of these. Hatchet, counter hit. Down four, down back three as they are doing something. Hatchet, they're again trying to do something. They again like ducked or something. Catch them with another hatchet. Get them with a throw. That's a counter hit. See, they're mashing like crazy, right? This is something that I noticed. And in a way, it's like, I'm not afraid of this back three, right? Okay, do it twice, that's fine. I don't remember what are the frames of that exactly. It might be minus 12, minus 13, or even, I don't think it's launch. But I think it's minus 12, I want to say. So we can do the 4-1 punish. But I did a 10 to keep things easy. I think we did a 1-4 into a throw because I expect him to do something crazy again. I'm doing a lot of these throws because they're not being broken and they're mashing. And we did hatchet, I believe, and then they did back three. The back threes are coming out more. And now what's for breakfast? Hell Sweet? Mid. Okay? Another down two into while standing two. I could have forward three'd that. This time, I do the hatchet, I block the back three, get the launch. And then get him with the soccer kick because I had a feeling that the mental damage had been done. This was weird. That was really weird. Should have done a down four, but whatever. But anyway, cool. So we recovered, and now he's getting some coaching from his buddy. And I don't know really what they said, but let's see what they do here. So I do down back three again into knees. They neutral guarded that. That was actually kind of a weird thing. I don't know how I can take advantage of that. But then we did a hatchet and they blocked it. Got a punish. Now they're finishing laser scraper. Still getting up there with these hatchets. jab, jab, down back 2. So they're kind of slowing things down a little bit. Then they hit us with this nice mid afterwards, which was probably a counter, probably a frame trap. Good step. Notice how he walks to the left after that. That was actually really good. And then what's for breakfast? Mid. Okay. Too much nerves, exactly, Mecha. My nerves were here for this game. Yeah, my nerves were here for this game. But remember that sidestep electric? We got it. And then I dropped the combo because nerves. Got us with this 4-4-2. They're still using their stuff. I'm using a lot of hatchets because they're choosing to walk, and they're not walking the right way, so I want to keep catching them walking. And again, we're trying to like catch them doing stuff. This time they did the same interaction as before. So here, this is something that I want to talk about too, right? It's not wrong what we did, but the mindset is maybe better. So I do 2 down back 3s again, and I'm like, oh, they might do something crazy again, right? And no, they did the same mid challenge as before. That was actually kind of cool. I didn't get the, what did I do after that? Because I want to keep this in mind for next time. So I did jab, +1 jab into 4-3, into sidestep, into 4-3. Okay, so it's not like some closed timing situation, but that's actually kind of cool. And then I missed my down back 2. Gotcha. A lot of spaghetti here. How's it going, Hugh? And now they're getting a little cute. And then again, just like hatchets into throws and stuff, getting them under pressure. And I will say that like sticking to this type of stuff as we're playing, like hatchet into throw, hatchet into throw, hatchet into throw, that's fine. They haven't launched us for it. That was just unlucky. That will happen. That will just happen. What's for breakfast? Hatchet. What comes next? Mid. Same mid. So this is what I mean, right? Block 4-3 into sidestep 4-3 is a classic. This is kind of what I'm saying in that our opponent did the same stuff for most interactions, right? After hatchet, they're mashing and the throws work. After down back 3s, after the second down back 3, they're doing a mid. After a wall combo, if they don't immediately do something, there's a hell sweep, and then the next interaction is going to be a mid. Just like trying to do a different throw there, just so that they're not sure what to do. Okay, I got a little bit like unsure what to do there, which is okay. And that was pretty good. I don't remember. Yeah, that was pretty good. And then we missed our taunt thing. That's okay. Oh, and then we missed that too. Nerves, guys. And then the good duck from them. And then 4-3 hits. They do it back 3. And then we die. That was crazy. But see how we could have, if we just played a little cleaner, we would have gotten that round. 1-1 into 1 jab into down back 2 again. And then wake up, what's for breakfast in neutral, 4-4-2. And then what's going to happen here? Hell sweep. Mid. And then I sidestepped and missed our jet upper. So this is like a lot of spaghetti happening, see? And then I went for the quarter circle back 4, and it, didn't work. So what did we learn here? The takeaways that I had when I stepped away from the computer or from the console was like, oh, hey, like, my opponent showed me a lot of patterns, and I overthought the situation, right? This Devil Jin is just, I'm going to put it like they're just another competitor. Like I didn't recognize the name. But it was my round 1 opponent. So the thing is that there were a lot of what do you call it? Like interactions that happened that were the same interaction each time. Like there was a lot of sidestep electric. There was a lot of hell sweep into mid at the wall. There's a lot of one jab, down back 2. There's a lot of down 2 into while standing 2. And like being able to see those things and just kind of if I was more calm about it or came in with that intention at the beginning of let's see it and just file it away for later, right? That would probably have gotten us a lot further. And I think if we had blocked for longer, we would have learned a lot more of that in game 1 without having to like sacrifice so much in the later games to figure that stuff out. As a Devil Gem thing, like using more down back 3s, but also being comfortable with like pressing a move, taking the poke, and then just blocking and seeing what they're going to do. All of those things I think are things that we could have done better in this. And I will say that, yes, nerves played into it, but nerves only go so far. Nerves, I think, in a way, really just displays like what aspects of your gameplay have you truly internalized to the point of it's just like it just comes second nature. It just you don't even have to think about it, right? And this is what Peter has talked about. It's like you got to drill these situations like under pressure. Did you see what was not bad? Our down back 3 game, right? Our down back 3 game was giving us so much mileage because I can do that under pressure. I can do that in my sleep. I've done that for a whole year. And so this is sort of the type of stuff where it's like practicing these situations and these interactions and these sequences to the point where we can just do it under pressure is going to be really helpful for us this coming year as we work on it. So let's jump on to the next games. These next ones should be a little bit faster because some of them were a little bit more one-sided. So let's do that. This next one's an Azucena. This would be, so at this point I'm 0-1. This Azucena just finished playing against Farzine, and they looked pissed. They did not look happy. And so I'm going to point that out first of all. And then second of all, I'm going to point out that we walked up to this. So my first opponent, he said, do you have a side preference? And I said, no. And he goes, you want to just sit down? And I said, okay. And so we sat down, and I was on P2. This time, this opponent came up to me and said, I'm P1. And I'd been spending my time calming myself down, trying to get myself a little more zen for this next game and just think like, don't overthink it, see what their level is, don't over-respect them, and just see the holes and deal with it, right? See the holes and punish it rather than assuming every hole is a trap, right? Every opening is a trap. So this guy, and also just like get that competitor mindset. Don't give your opponent anything for free. So my opponent comes up, says, I'm player 1, and I go, I'll rock, paper, scissors you for it. I win the rock, paper, scissors, and they were visibly annoyed as well when we sat down. So, but yeah, this is Azucena. So let's kind of like watch how I think this opponent maybe would be a slightly lower level player, or maybe, a little bit less experienced than our previous opponent, but I still think it's kind of like the way we played was very different, so I think this is a good way to kind of contrast what I was hoping to do in the first round. So immediate attacks, and I do a jab into a down back 3, and they attacked. And then I tried a down 4, and I'm just kind of like throwing out keep out moves because I already kind of, from that first interaction, I'm like, I think you like to press. We missed our hatchet. That's okay because we noticed they're not actually approaching there. We see the high extension, and I keep blocking, and I see they do the high extension into a power crush. And then when I finally decide it's my turn to do something, they do a down jab into a low, into a big mid, and it's like, okay, our opponent presses a lot, and then I try to do the down to 3 trap there just to like catch them mashing, and I was right, but they down jabbed faster, and then they do this big mid again, and I'm just sitting here blocking now, and just trying to get my pacing right. And then of course, because of that, I just do down back 3 into while standing 3 immediately, because I'm like, we've got enough information. This person mashes their butt off, right? And then they stay on the ground there because they don't know. How's it going to Warrior? Mecha. That's too troll, man. The most troll thing I've done to people a lot of the time is they go, I have no side preference. And they go, well, I want to play P1. And I'm like, I'll rock, paper, scissors you for it. Or even better, my favorite one was my opponent goes, I have no preference. I go, well, I have no preference. And they're like, is it cool? It's like, but I'll rock, paper, scissors you for it or something. And he was like, how do you rock, paper, scissors me for side if you don't know what I want? It was pretty funny. Um, and D Warrior, yeah, this is a an interesting costume that's allowed in tournament for sure. But it was a really good time. Yeah, my wife was like, "You better beat this person." 1-2-4 because I thought they would be crazy, and if sure they're going for those jab things, and I'm just sitting here blocking, waiting for the high, right? And then we miss our combo. Still a little bit nervous, but at least I'm playing a little more calmer, right? And then again, I tried for this throw, and they do the down jab. So we're kind of learning already, right? Okay, down jab is their panic button. And the speed that they play, it's like there's, you know, that's what they're going to do. Hatchet into orbital. See how this time, I see something, and if I see it like once or twice, I'm already calling it out, right? Because I already know enough, right? And I'm just kind of like trying to catch when they're just blocking. And I also noticed that they probably can't break throws. I didn't mention that. My double gen opponents struggled to break throws. So now I'm throwing them. We miss, so we just block. Like, we are dealing with the aggression without overextending, right? Again, they go for the down jab. I wasn't sure if they would, but they did. And then I'm using these power crushes rather liberally because they're attacking so much. And I tried to do it again there because I didn't know if they would just go straight into the heat smash, which they did, but that's okay. Nice. What I did here was I was trying to catch my idea here, but granted, I was probably getting cheeky. My idea here is like they're going to down jab. I'm going to do down 4-2-1 just in case they match with something else. And then I'm going to lead that into this, and they're going to down jab again, and I'm going to do this. Ended up not being what happened, and then I jabbed out of panic. And I died. Probably. Alright, we're going to skip through that. Get another hatchet. Notice that the hatchets are just coming out. They're not doing anything about it, so we're going to keep hatcheting. You can't sidestep there, so... And then we got a neat little sidestep jet upper there. Using more hatchets on wake up, using more throws. Actually, they just stood for that, which is kind of crazy. And then catch them with the mid here. So just, you know, keeping it nice and simple, varying up what we're doing a little bit, and just, you know, not overthinking it, right? So now we're on game 2. Exactly, Mecha. I think throws are really good in Tekken 8. In a weird way, they finally made throws relevant. Down 4. I thought that was launch. I think I was just slow. But there's more down jabs coming in. These sidestep jet uppers are getting us some traction, but my combos are missing. Again, I'm doing down back 3 into the throw because it's actually pretty reasonable of a frame trap if they're not ducking and they can't break the throw, right? I'm just blocking here, I think? Oh no, I went for the throw. That's so cheeky. Well, the Warrior, I mean, think of it like people are just here to play, right? Like, not every skill level, every type of player shows up to play. Like, there's nothing... Not everyone is here at the tournament, including myself. Not everyone is here with the intention of winning the whole thing, right? I mean, just you play with what you have. This might be a side game, right? Yeah, the armor moves in this game and the fact that it tracks and is one of your more reasonable tracking options makes throws and even normal throws pretty good. Well, the Warrior, I mean, like, if you're trying to get good at the game, not knowing how to break throws is crazy, but at the same time, if you're just like, I'm just here to play, like, I'm not here to, like, sit here and drill something, you know, I'm here to play, you're not going to learn throw breaks very quickly from just playing online. You have to drill it for a long time, especially if you're old like me. That's fair, Mecha. Yeah, expecting to win without it is crazy. When someone smells it and they just like, you know, they get a whiff of it and they start throwing you over and over again. I thought that was a low. Just kind of checking their knowledge here. That was crazy. But that sidestep jet upper didn't even do the thing that I was trying to get it to do. But at the same time, like, you know, just like it works still, right? We're like we're not worrying too much. We're not overthinking the situation. Like it might still work, right? And then they're staying on the ground, and then they're just getting caught by like I'm just like kind of scrolling through the move list on them, right? At this point. The damage has been done. Again, they go for the down jab. Again, going for that. That was actually pretty good because I remember that they did a power crush before, so doing that low kind of got through the power crush. We break the throw, the first revenge throw. And then we get a sidestep and we get a nice stuff. Cool. Nice. Okay, so we recovered on that one. The next opponent we played against, I believe, was Lili. I'm not sure if I got this ordering correct. It was either Lili or the King. But, you know, doesn't really matter. I believe this was our third opponent, though. And when you see the King, you'll see why I say that. You hear Veter's in the background being like, talking to this guy, like, who plays Lili? Alright, jab into down back 3 to see what they do. We get caught by the classic. Should have blocked, but oh well. Twitch duck. Wake up with a hatchet. Test them with the down back 3 into Northern Cross. It didn't work. Thanks, Mecha. Yeah. They went for the low. Went for a throw. I broke it. Went for a jab. Went for the mid. I believe that's the mid. And notice how we're just kind of like blocking a lot and just trying to hit them with these lows whenever we're taking our turn, right? We're not overthinking it. We're using a lot of lows. And then we got a 1-2-1 there. That was actually pretty cool. So they are mashing in some situations, but not all of them. Got him with the 1-2-1, and then they would hit us with the low parry string, and I'm already like, okay, I see how it is, you know? Do I sidestep here probably? No, I went for something ballsy. And then oh my gosh. I forgot I did this to them. I think I figured out that they were already going to be like a mashing type of player in a lot of like ambiguous situations like here. So the jet upper ended up working. And then the side switch. And then they went for it again. I was like, there's no way. So I didn't low parry, and then they went for it again. I was like, okay. So you see me low parry, and you go for it again. And they go for that as well. And I'm like, using just, you know, Tekken 8 stuff to fight back because I know they're pushing their offense too much, right? And it's okay. It's Tekken 8. That's how this game works, right? That was pretty clean. I'm pretty warmed up at this point. They tech roll? Yeah. Wuffs for breakfast. They actually block, and then they go for the string again. So, pretty crazy. Get that out of here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, no! Oh, okay. The guy did a rematch, and so we have to like, go to the next stage. Okay, here we go. For those who play in these tournaments, I looked up the TWT rules before this, and it says you can hit the rematch button, but I think they were outdated, and the new rule, the current rule is you got to random every single time, and the only option you get is if you go to character select. So anyway, just note to y'all playing TWT rules. I'm still like kind of adding a lot of frame traps into the mix to see what they'll do. That was a bad input that ended up working. That was a pretty decent low parry, and then we got him with the snake with the install. And they go for the low block again in that situation, but I'm okay to keep going for it because nothing bad is really happening. They're not low pairing us. Again, we 1-2, 1-2-1 into a float. But you notice how I'm just kind of finishing my strings and stuff? I knew it wasn't going to work, so I switched to that. Oh no, my jet upper! And then we get snake edge. I think I laughed here. Let's see. Let's listen. Yeah. Alright. Okay. We're just sitting here blocking, trying to figure out what's going on. Even now, watching it back, I don't know Lili's like pressure super well in this situation, so I'm even just kind of like silently watching it and just like trying to see if there's anything that sticks out to me. Okay, that forward 3 into northern into mock punch was pretty good. Mock kick was pretty good, and then we just got him with down forward ones. Nice, nice, good shit. And then I got caught there, and then it got caught again. That's okay. And they did a down jab there after our 4-3, which is kind of interesting. Then they just did 2. That's pretty panicky. And I think I noticed that. I don't know. I feel like I noticed that. Snake edge again. I think that one was like counter hit though, so I was in the middle of a move, so. But you can tell that they're kind of like starting to go through the move list, but they give us an opening with this. That's a bad habit on their part. I think they can't stop doing it, is my guess. I went for the back 4 because that would have been a much better combo. Got a punish on it. Caught them with some mashing. And I still go for these hatchets over and over again, see? And then we got them. Cool. Easy enough. Getting cleaner, right? It's getting cleaner. So let's watch the king now. This is why you're going to see pretty quickly why I think this king was further in the tourney, because I think this person was eating people alive with this style of play. Also, this person, just like a funny story, there was like a very long, like maybe 20-minute gap between this game and the previous game, because I ran to the restroom, told the TO, and I ran to the restroom, came back, I'm like, I'm here. He's like, I'm still waiting on your opponent, and he keeps on calling this guy's name. And at some point, he's like, man, if he doesn't show up one more time, like, I'm going to have to DQ him or something. And he calls, like, he walks around the table one last time calling the guy's name. And this person that's been standing there the whole time goes, oh, that's me. And the TO looks at me and goes, I guess I just need to work on my voice projection, which is kind of funny. But, so it's just like accidentally got iced by the TO because he wasn't saying the name loud enough. Cool. So what do we do first? We just look and see what they're doing, do a jab back, and do a jab back 3 just to see, do a hatchet, and we get counter hit. Okay. What's next? Alley kick. Into, and you notice he like, Jaguar steps back. He's just high. Maybe. Get him with our quarter circle back 1. I'm still kind of taking my time. I do a 10 frame. And they do another power crush, so I do this, see what they do. They do another power crush. Very stubborn play, right? Another power crush, another power crush, another power crush, another power crush. Rage art. Do you have a profile yet? But they blocked that. They went for the throw into another power crush. Power crush, so I throw them. This is round 2 only, right? Round 2 of the first game. They do a, I don't know what to call it, the Marduk thing. I don't know the exact break here, so what I typically do is I just hold 1 or 2 and just hopefully eventually it ends. So there it ended. And then I go for the throw again, and they duck this time. Pretty good. Looks like a normal king player to you. Here's the thing. It's so freaking good. Like, you know, it is kind of good, right? And then again, this time I go for the down, for the mid, and they're back to Power Crush. So they do a single duck to get rid of the throw, and then now they're back. Yeah, I don't think it's a joke in the sense that it's so good. Like, you don't need to... There's... Yeah, I get what you mean. It's pretty common. Knowing how to beat this is important. But the very next interaction, they're back to Power Crush. See that? And then I do mine. I've never seen that trade. Is that like a new thing? I feel like I saw this every single time in the weekend. This is like a new patch thing. Like, I've thought you trade hits, but now it looks like you both armor. Super wild. But he goes for a Rage Out again in that interaction. I went for down 4, and he beat me out, crazily enough. But you see how these, in like every single close situation, Rage is coming out. So far. 2 for 2 on these rounds. Okay. Good throw. That was so max range, I think I broke 1+2, is my guess. And then they go for a Power Crush after the throw break. Power Crush there. Hey, Etran! How's it going, man? Thank you for saying hi to me while we were there. It's nice meeting you. Another alley kick into a Power Crush. Into a Power Crush. Into a Heat Smash. Okay. What happens here? Another low, another low. Okay. But see how it's like, it's scary? I'm sitting here blocking, and it's like, oh, damn. What I was afraid of happened, right? But, like, I actually think this is better. By this point, I'm kind of more myself. I'm like, I'm going to take the low. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to take the low, because I want to see if they're going to go for it, right? They actually finish it there. And notice how I did catch him with a mid here. Because I was thinking, like, we might be playing the mind game at this point. So, does this, hatchet to beat the power to the armor, and then we catch him with this down 2-3, which I thought maybe they would mash after it into, like, an armor move or something. But they didn't. They do another Power Crush, and I throw again, which they didn't actually Power Crush there, I noticed. They caught my orbital there. Unlucky, but that's okay. Get me with mid. Another Power Crush. Notice how it's like a lot of like throws and lows and stuff. And then they get me with this throw again. Pretty scary. Just do this. I think I block. No, I do a throw. That's even better. And catch them with the mid. Nice stuff. I was actually trying to just Oki them with the mid there. I don't know why I was doing down back 1+2 so much there. I think it was because I was thinking, like, this is going to win. In this situation, this is going to win. It's more solid than Quarter Circle Forward 1+2 in the sense that it's a faster, easier input. And I can still heat dash into win, given the life totals, or, like, more pressure, right? Caught him there with the finish there. We're whiffing a lot of moves. That's okay. Use our own Power Crush. Give them a taste of their own medicine. Give them a... hit them with back 1+2 so that they're in a plus situation. We catch them with the Northern Cross. Get them with that soccer kick. Do a slight delay on the soccer kick into this. Tried the back 4 and it actually whiffed. And then I blocked it. But yeah, armor is happening so much. It's literally all the armor moves. And it's like, deal with it. And it's like, you deal with it with throws and lows and steps and like, you know, varying up what you're doing. But everything is kind of like, I'm trying to pick everything in a way that beats the armor, right? Also, to be fair, like let's be clear here, right? Every opponent was really nice. Pretty much every opponent was really nice. playing Armor King before it comes out. Yeah, right. Alley kick, low, into a throw. I don't know. I think I just had like a really like, I just had a hard read in that situation. I was just like, I feel like they're trying to set up like a throw. I messed that up. That's okay. Nice, nice giant swing there. I went for the throw again. I hard read this throw, and you notice because of that, I didn't get to visually confirm it. But it was kind of okay. I think I died here, though, probably. Oh, I got out of it! And I went for 1-2-1, and I get power crushed. Again, right? That's for sure Zimbax. It was also getting quite a bit quieter as the pools progressed, and people got eliminated. Notice how I like started throwing out these back ones, mainly just to like not out of panic, but just to be like, what is he gonna do here, right? Do something different, right? And again, they're gonna mash, right? So we're +5. Let's do it. Oh, whatever, Mecha. I feel like that one's a little bit of memeing. Good step on that. Because I'm like, oh, we're talking about throws, right? Command throws. We can step this. I don't have to take it. Caught him there. This whole sequence is crazy. That was crazy. Do you see that? What happened there? What was that? I was very surprised when that happened. Let's see what happens here. I jab round start. What the hell? I guess the input for that throw has a little bit of a crouch dash in it. That's crazy. How's it going, Charman? I think they, yep, they did. They did whiff, but I got the wrong punish. That's okay. Notice how I'm doing, like, 10 frames into a low and stuff, Like, I'm not always throwing. How's it going, Rocks? Good to see you. Tried to step there, it didn't work. Go ahead and use our heat after he does a plus frame. I try to throw again, and they go for this. I think I die here. Yeah, I die here. I'm dead. Oh, wow, I lived. And then do the 1 forward 3 and we get beat out. It's okay. It was really fun, Charmon. I went 3-2. We're going through our matches now. Yeah. Mecha, that was not a 9-year-old. Another power crush, that's okay. Notice how we're beating the power crushes, right? Now I'm like, you know what? Power crushes don't matter anymore. I'm going to power crush you back. He's actually doing a decent job of like staying on the ground. But we catch that throw and we get him. I seriously think playing Stubborn Tekken isn't a bad thing. I play a version of Stubborn Tekken, so I don't think it's a bad thing. And, oops. I don't think it's a bad thing. And yeah, playing the game for fun too, Alright. Raven. We lost to a Raven. So let's let's start by saying that this Raven player, this Raven player seemed pretty serious, and what else? Like, I don't know Raven very well. Y'all already know that. I was like, oh, this might be where I die, but I'm gonna go down swinging, right? And the idea is, like, when you don't know what's going on, play normal Tekken, right? Don't worry too much about, like, what can I beat here, what can I beat there. Just play some normal Tekken. Super irony here is that I don't have a lot of my -14 punishment down on Raven, and I didn't realize that in the latest patch, a lot of that got brought down to -13. So I sort of got saved by my ignorance and my incompetence because I wasn't trying to punish things that I couldn't punish anymore. Trade your dignity for your pride, Mecha. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like there are some killer players at these events, and there's a ton of people that are there just to vibe. You know what I mean? And I think this is also coming from me, like, from a mindset of, like, when I did Magic competitively, there were events like this, right? They're like conventions with a huge tournament in it. Every player is in that event to money. Every player is in there to hit cash prizing. And every player is trying to penny pinch every last dollar towards every plane ticket or drive or hotel, trying to cram 8 people into a room because they're trying to get into the tournament for as little money as possible, and then try and generate value so that they can sort of like live this illusion that they are net positive in the game and a professional player, right? I think on the other hand, for ComboBreaker and these types of fighting game tournaments, there are so many players in the game that just love the game and are not sweaty players. Like, I'm just going to say it straight up. Like, some of these players I don't think are sweaty at all. They're not here to win the whole thing. They're just here to, like, have a good time, play some games, run their game, and see how it does. And they aren't, like, locked in trying to, they're here to have a good time. And because of that, holy shit, do fighting game players pay money spend money on things. Like, there's so much commerce happening at these things compared to the Magic scene where everyone's just haggling for every last dollar on every last thing. It's like, meanwhile, this one's just like, whoa, that's a cool painting. I'll pay $200 for that. It's like, so because of that, like, I don't really fault anyone for the way that they play, in the sense that that's not what they're there for, and they're happy. If they're happy, right? Like, yeah, if they're happy, I'm happy. Now, if they're upset, right? Like, they're upset, like, oh, I can't believe I lost, It's like, well, in that case, it's like, well, look at what you were doing, right? But I think if they're happy about it, it's kind of like yucking someone's yum, right? It's like, oh, if you like that food that I think is disgusting, that's okay. You enjoy, I won't eat it. So it's like, we won't play that way, but there's nothing wrong with them playing that way. And us learning how to get through it and win is also an important skill. Tone was telling me, I saw him at the tournament, and he was telling me that, learning how to get out of pools in an efficient way that gets you against players in your skill level, as well as quickly evaluating if your opponent is at your skill level or not, is a very important skill in tournaments because you don't have a rank indicator to let you know how good they are. And he was saying, like, and I think in that sense, like, you see they don't adapt, don't worry about it. Don't adapt yourself. You see they don't break throws, throw them more. Like, all of those things is like the other side of that coin, right? If they're not going to adapt, you're allowed to abuse that. You're allowed to abuse that, just as they're allowed to abuse the move that they're using, right? They can mash Power Crush all day. You're allowed to deal with it. So I think that's kind of like that was my takeaway. It's like, it's very zen. It's a very zen, like, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as you won, the only thing that matters is who's left standing, right? That's the name of the game. Yeah, Mecha, like, don't get triggered by it. There's nothing to get triggered by. It's just a game. It's just a tournament. You do what you need to do to win, right? And that's what we need to do. Now, let's watch the Raven match. They were quite good. And I love olives, Zimbabs, especially martinis. Oh, and I need to watch the auction tourney, by the way. That was a spectacle. I only saw the pepperonis, the clips, and that's it. All right, so we kind of feel them out. I do a jab. They hit us with some pokes, and I get a bit of a hard read on this low parry. But notice how I'm kind of giving them some time. I notice that they get up, but a little slower. They do finish that, which is a little crazy, which why I was like, oh, this guy's nuts. But apparently that's minus 13 now, all the blue cones, I think. And then they hit us with a hell sweep. And I'm going to be paying attention quite a bit here because I'm trying to figure out some patterns that I didn't notice at the time either. And then I just tried to take my turn back there. They went for a down jab. They're probably going to do it again. Oh, they actually didn't do the hell sweep. Notice how they're like varying their timing. And this is why I'm like, oh, this guy's good. Okay, right? Yeah, that's crazy. I'm so glad that I'm not that good at punishing the blue clones because I would have gotten destroyed. Alright, I think I tried to duck the low. And then they did a really good duck on our 1-2-4. And then I think I flash ducked there? Not sure. Notice how, because I knew they were good, I immediately started dash blocking. You see that? I did 1, 2, 4, 3, and it worked. I was like, okay, this guy's a little bit better, which means I can vary my timing a bit, and that's how I'm going to get the counter hit, right? Slow it down. I thought it was a punish last time, but it wasn't, so I did a 1-4. And notice I'm just kind of blocking. I'm trying to, like, get my lows in and then kind of slow down. That was a... Damn. That was a cool sidestep. Oops. Do a jab into a 4-3 with a faster 4-3, right? And then we do a down back 3 afterwards. Catch him with this hatchet. Oh, they don't. They walk out of it. Nice stuff. They get us with a little jab punish. I block. I'm really trying to get them with these 4-3s now that I know what game we're playing, because 4-3 is a really good move when you're in this type of situation, right? A bit of a trade there. I think they just clipped me there. Notice how, what did I do? I did 1-2 and he down jabbed, right? That's actually a pretty cool option select. Oops. So I immediately go for the 1-2-1 though, I think. I think I saw that, and I was like, alright, we're going to do the 1-2-1 in that case. Catch him with this hatchet. I did a sidestep into this. I checked them, right? It's been working all day. We're just blocking. Oh, I ducked again. I was like, maybe he'll go for the low eventually, but he hasn't been. Nice. Good stuff. I really don't know. My analysis is going to be really bad on this because I don't know Raven well. But we are blocking. And then... Notice I'm using a lot of like 1-2s and 1-4s to try and take my turn back in that situation. I have no idea if that's actually good. But one thing I'm noticing is that they're down jabbing a lot in that situation, so I can probably finish my string. Nice. And they got us. Okay, so I wanted advice here. I didn't get it, so I went straight to the next game. I wasn't sure if that was jet up or not, so I went for 1-4. I think probably in hindsight, there's probably a, since it's back turn, there's probably, I don't know, do you get the Xiaoyu combo there? It's like 1-4, delayed 2-1 is my guess. I'm not sure. I'll probably lap that next, once I get into the Raven stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is definitely, like, knowledge checks are an issue here, but we're kind of trying to play timings at that point, because this person respects us enough that they're not actually, like, trying that hard to catch us with that stuff, right? And notice, so I just start running my game, right? Yeah, the down jab interrupt on 1-2-4 is risky, for sure. And I didn't notice that they're still doing it. This is a good stage for Bryan, I think. It's kind of like Soup from Tekken 8, from Tekken 7, where it's just like very small and gets us to the into the wall very quickly. So we're able to play this wall game against him a lot. Oop. Got him with a 4-3. Yeah, exactly. Didn't get that. It's okay. I really like that down 4-1 because I was like, maybe he's going to duck, but the thing is, like, nice. Maybe he's going to duck, but, like, I feel like they're going to mash, and we can kind of, like, try and fish there with a down 4-1. So, pretty strong response. And now we're on this temple stage. I forgot what this one's called. Alright. We're still looking for these 4-3s. They're blocking. I think I could have dash blocked more, but I was afraid, to be perfectly honest. I think this is where nerves, like, if I get better at doing those dash blocks under pressure, I'll be able to, like, vary them up more. But notice it's just like pure aggression here. He's done an adaptation where he's like running us over, right? So I think I'm going to slow down here. That was pretty sick. Caught the crouch dash in. I knew that he had been kind of just letting it happen, and then I dropped this, which really sucks. Those are messed up Requiems. The nerves are really starting to hit for this third game. I tried to go for it again because I thought that was the punish. But it was, in fact, a jab string that had done that before. That was some really lucky mashing. I was trying to jab, but I didn't realize that the heat burst had hit, so I got a while standing one, and that happened. Yeah, I just have to press more buttons for sure. Huh. Instant chains after machine guns? That's actually a pretty interesting idea. I see what you're saying. Because of the instant input, you might get a low parry, you might get a high crush. Yeah. That's a really interesting idea. I'll have to think about that. Test their throw. They've got throw breaks, though. One thing I noticed is that they broke the normal. See, they broke these normals, but at some point I'll test them with a 1+2. Like here. And it worked. I'm like, oh shit! Do we have an opening? This was a crazy interaction. They got us. But yeah, that makes sense, Mecca. That's actually pretty cool. Very, very close interaction there. What did I do there? That was a cool 4-3. I did a single dash jab, and then I just did 4-3 into 4-3. I'm so glad I did that. That's like one of those things that sometimes works, and I need to realize, like, when you're trying to, like, get a counter hit out, you have to be really willing to risk to do something that's, like, delayed, right? I hopefully blocked here. I'm still holding the block now, because I noticed he hasn't done the low yet. Did that because I was running out of heat. Tested him with that 1+2. And then, oh man, that mess up was really, really heartbreaking. But this is good. Alright, final round. Unfortunately, we know the outcome already. I was trying something cheeky there with the jab after the up 4-3. Notice I'm still going for 10 frames. It's good. They're going for pure offense here, which is good. So I start doing the same thing. Oh, this is what's the interaction, I think. Oh, never mind. Not the interaction. It was here. I went for C. I was like, he's going to do something crazy. He's going to press, so I'm going to go for a Mach Punch, and I'm going to get my turn back. But they went immediately Heat Burst into Heat Smash, and it beat out that option, which is really good. And that is what I remember losing to. But I think the moral of that one is if I had known the Raven matchup better, I probably could have played through a lot of the highs and actually punished things a little more effectively, and we don't have those reactions yet. But it's nothing to beat ourselves up for. We are labbing characters. We are tackling these matchups. So, you know, this is just something that will come with time. So with that being said, I'm not going to kind of talk over this a whole lot more. I think the main takeaway from ComboBreaker that I had this time around is that don't overthink your matches. Don't overthink especially in pools, don't overthink what your opponent is capable of doing. Don't overthink the patterns. And I think this is what Peter was trying to teach me for ranked play, which is just the idea is like, you see something twice, just make the read, right? Exactly. Yeah, it was a really good experience. Like, but the point is like, you see something happen twice in a row, like be looking out for it. You can't see everything, but try to. When you see something as a pattern, do something to stop it. like, do something to punish it. Try and come up with something that's going to set up the situation, or if you see the situation again, so that you can punish it the next time. And try not to get too much into your head until you see those adaptations. Like, punish it once, what's the next interaction? Oh, they went for it again, punish it again the third time, you know, versus, oh, they did something different. And then the very next time they went back to it. Okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, understanding, like, how stubborn are they? Are they paying attention to the fact that you punished it, you know? And going from there is a really good mindset to have anyway, but also greatly simplifies what you're trying to do in pools and will hopefully, for us, help me play cleaner for the next time. So, yeah, good stuff. Let's go ahead and do our YouTube sign off. If you're coming from YouTube, be sure and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Really helps us grow. We really love seeing the new people show up. And if you ever want to watch it live, it's going to be at twitch.tv/VonTiban. That's VonTiban. We stream Bryan, Tekken on Saturdays and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time. The first hour is for stuff like this, and then the next 2 hours are for ranked practice. So come check us out there. The description is down below, as well as a link to our Discord if you'd like to join our community. Thank you so much again for all of the support and for all the people that came out and said hi to me at the event and, you know, watched these games with me. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.